Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. My name's Jasmine Willis and I'm a realtor in Kalamazoo, Michigan with 5-star real estate with a Harrington Team. Today we have a special guest with us right over here.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk with Chris Dennison from Mortgage One. We're going to go over a couple things you guys need to know about the first-time home buying process.
Wonderful. So you've worked with quite a few first-time home buyers,
Yeah.
and I think you've even had a couple where they found a house and they haven't even talked to a lender yet, right?
Yep.
How does that make you feel? Like, is that like a lot of pressure or what?
It's tons of pressure.
Yeah,
It is. It's a lot of pressure, especially now because things go so fast in the market, and so if they don't really know what their budget is or what they're pre-approved for or something like that, it's a little difficult. Like, imagine falling in love with a house and you don't even know if you can afford it, and the next day it's gone. You know?
Yeah, that buyer, they look at this house and they're not pre-approved, and they build up so much emotion, like, I can see myself here. This is it. And then they come to find out, oh yeah, I can't even approve to buy this house.
Yep.
I've got steps I've got to take in order to get ready to buy a house, which can be really tough on a first-time home buyer. So
Yes, and let's get into that. Let's talk about the pre-approval process. So what does the pre-approval process look like on your end, on the lender side?
yes, so I've been doing this for about 9 years now, and so I understand that the pre-approval process for a first-time home buyer can be super scary. So I actually do my best to try to make it as easy as possible. So typically what I'll do when I get a first-time home buyer on the phone, I will basically, get some basic information like, where are you working? Are you renting now? Okay, great. And are you comfortable with this rent payment? What are your goals as far as buying a house? Where you want your monthly payment? And then we'll kind of do a little bit of chat, just kind of get a feel. And then I have this really cool online application that makes it really easy for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
They can download it right on their phone.
Yeah.
Do everything on their phone, and even upload the required documents that I need on the lending side to get things reviewed so we can get them pre-approved. So,
Yeah.
Mortgage One, we try to get people pre-approved within 24 hours,
Nice.
if not same day.
Okay.
And so that online application that I usually text their clients, they'll be able to have it on their phone, upload the documents, and then get everything to me, and then I can possibly get it reviewed in a single day.
So if you guys get a message from Chris, you guys make sure you check it, because all this tech stuff is all on your phone.
Yes, yep. So, but no, first time home buyers, I always, want to make sure they've got at least a 2-year employment history. College can be used as employment history, because I know, I've worked with a lot of first-time home buyers that are college graduates, and they're like, "Wait a second, I didn't work. I was just in school all the time."
Yeah.
So we can count school part of that 2-year work history. I want to make sure that if their addresses are like different on W-2s and driver's license, we want to make sure that we get that addressed, because that's important, like how we set up the credit. Because if we pull credit with a wrong address and then have to re-enter a new address, we got to pull the credit.
Man. So the most important things that you will have to tell someone from your point, if they're coming to see you, like, okay, knock, knock, knock. Hi, Chris. I want to buy a house. Like, what do you tell them? Like, the first step when they first meet with you, what does that look like?
With first-time home buyers, what I typically do is I kind of talk to them about the process, so they're to set those expectations. So I talk about the things I'll need. I talk about the application process. I talk about what to expect throughout the entire process when coming to find a house. And I also go over like all the financial stuff to make sure that they're comfortable with the amount they want to spend, what they qualify for. So that way you can set them up on a home search that's according to their budget.
Yeah. So I recently heard someone tell me like, oh man, it's just so much paperwork just involved in buying a house. So I know you probably can't break them all down right now, but like, what's some of the things that people need to be ready for, like to show you as far as paperwork when they got to upload those things on the phone?
Good question. So real simple, really. So what we look for as from a lender side of things, we want W-2s for the last 2 years. We want 2 most recent pay stubs if they're paid biweekly, 4 if they're paid weekly. 2 months of bank statements just to verify assets, to make sure everything looks good and they have enough cash to close, to document closing cost, and then a copy of the driver's license. And then if there's special circumstances where child support's involved, then we'll get a front of the court order to make sure that we can use that child support earnings, or if there was a recent divorce, something like that, we'd want a divorce decree, or if there's a bankruptcy, bankruptcy paperwork. But primarily, we start off with those 4 set of documents.
Okay. I have a question, Chris. So is there anyone that, like, any type of loan you don't work with, like, you got, no VAs, no this, or you just open and you just...
So a good question. So that's one of the first things that I ask an applicant, are you a veteran? Because a VA loan specifically is really a great loan program because no down payment, no mortgage insurance, so the veteran can really get into a home with little out of pocket. With that program. So no, and if the person ends up not qualifying, if they have like low credit or they're just not quite ready, one thing I love about what I do is I kind of coach people on what you can do to get mortgage ready. And those clients seem to be the most rewarding to work with because they're hungry and they want a house. Like I worked with a client that took him a year. You'd contact me and I'd follow up with him, throughout the year. But he did all the steps that I told him to do, and we got him into a house after a year. And he had great credit, got him into a conventional loan, and it worked out really good.
Nice. I know you guys both probably feel real good after that one,
You know what? Absolutely. Yeah. It took a long time, and even the realtor on that side, when I was working with, they were like so grateful. Like, wow, you took time to do that.
Like the whole entire time.
Yeah.
See, put that time in for you guys. Okay. Well, let's just say, you guys, we'll break down what it will look like being a first-time home buyer in general, what the steps of that will look like. I recommend, and Chris, you also recommend, right, to get pre-approved before, like we were saying at first, before you start the home buying search, because if you fall in love with something, you're going to be a little disappointed.
Right. And the other thing, too, is getting pre-approved. I think we kind of talked about this earlier, but getting pre-approved first really gives Jasmine, or a realtor, an advantage, too, when they do put together an offer, because they're going to know specifics about the program that the buyer's pre-approved for. Do they need seller's costs, or do they have enough funds to pay the seller's closing costs? After all, we are in this seller's market.
Yes, we are.
And we have to be creative in how to win offers. And so that's one of the things that, we have talked about. So.
Yeah. So to break it down for you guys at home, I just like, so typically either you could connect with a realtor first or with a lender first, because if you connect with someone like me, I know people like Chris, and I can connect you with Chris. So it's not a problem if you're not pre-approved before speaking to a realtor, because we have plenty of connections for you guys. So what it would look like is either contact someone like Chris first, a lender, or contact a realtor first, and they can connect you with a lender. And then after that, we know what you're working with, and then you'll come back to the table, and then we can go start the house search, the fun stuff. Go start looking for homes, and then after you find something that you like, then write up the offer, and you get to see him some more. I'm sorry. And then you get the keys to your home. Of course, you got inspections and all that stuff in between that, but that'd be for another video, of course. Today we're talking about the financial sides of it. But that's just the gist of what it would look like being a first time home buyer. About how long does like if someone comes in and they lock in this rate right now, because interest rates are pretty low, like a little bit over 3%. So someone comes in today, how long does that like last? Like
Yes,
that?
good question. So we typically lock in interest rates once we have an active purchase agreement. So the first step is to get somebody pre-approved, and obviously they're going to go out and find a house. Well, once they find a house, we can give them the option to lock, and we typically do a 30-day rate lock. Typically, that's all that's needed because we're closing loans in about that time frame.
30 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything else that you want to add as far as like the pre-approval process or first time home buying process?
So there are a ton of different programs for first time home buyers. And that's where the fun part for my job comes into play because I can analyze and look at their qualifications and kind of place them into one of these first time home buyer programs. Just to name a couple, you've got the Home Ready program, which is really cool. It offers a lower interest rate than a standard conventional loan, and then also lower monthly mortgage insurance.
Okay.
There are income requirements for that program, and then there is a first-time homebuyer course that you would have to take to fulfill that program. So, but that's one of the great first-time homebuyer programs. And then also there's a program called MISHTA, which offers down payment assistance. So if you're interested in buying a home and you're not quite sure that you have enough for a down payment, MISHTA could be the program for you. That's going to allow you to get up to a minimum of $7,500 in down payment assistance. And then right now, for specific zip codes, you can get up to $10,000 in down payment assistance.
Yes.
To qualify for that program, all adult occupants that plan on living in the home must be eligible, and the minimum requirement eligibility is 640 for that program. So not bad. I mean, that's 640 is definitely a good credit score to be at anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So super easy and obtainable to get. There are income limits for that program as well, but super generous. Like in Kalamazoo, it's like 94,000, just over 94,000. And if you have a family of 3 or more, it just goes up to around 110,000. So that program is really cool. And then there's also rural development programs where you're buying like outside of the Kalamazoo area, like Vicksburg. That's a zero down program. So a buyer can truly come in without any down payment. There's closing costs, and you want to kind of plan for about 3% in closing cost for that type of program. But that's an awesome program as well because the monthly mortgage insurance is much lower than like a typical FHA loan.
Okay, nice. There's plenty of programs out there for you guys, so don't get scared off. So what would be the minimum credit score? Is the minimum credit score of 640 to walk through your door, or where do we sit at?
So we can do loans at 580. That's where our overlay is at. Typically, like on an FHA loan, you can go as low as 500, but for our specific company, we do 580.
580?
Typically, with a 580 credit score, it's going to require reserves. Okay, it's going to possibly require a little bit more in down payment, but we can definitely do them. And then for conventional mortgages, it's typically minimum credit score 620. However, if you're looking for favorable interest rates and lower monthly mortgage insurance, you really want your score above 680 to even above 700 in most cases to get the best rate and the best MI. Now, if you're one of those conventional buyers where you have the capabilities of putting 20% down, then conventional would be a good loan program at a 620 credit score. So, but yeah.
Okay. How about debt to income ratio?
Debt to income ratio, that does vary too based on credit. Typically, I just had one like 580, a little bit higher than 580, and it required my debt to income ratio to be under a 40. But typically, MISHTA, you don't want any more than 45 for a back end ratio. Rural development, that's another program that requires lower debt to income ratio. Like you don't want to go over 39, a lot of cases with that type of program. But it really depends on credit and what you have for down payment. Because I've done debt to income ratios as high as 52
Okay.
with an FHA loan. So, and then conventional loan, you can go up to like 49.9 is the max for that type of loan.
Okay, cool. So what areas do you service, Chris?
So I am licensed to service the entire state of Michigan.
Okay.
But I primarily focus in the Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo market right now.
Okay. Cool. So, do you want to give everybody your info? So if they want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yes. If you look at the information posted on this video, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. So I'll make sure to drop Chris's information down in the description. So if you guys want to get in contact with him directly, you guys can go directly to the source, or you guys can come to me. I don't mind. But, I mean, that's pretty much all for me. How about on your end? Is there anything else you could think of?
Nope. I think we kind of hit everything pretty good.
Okay. Well, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this new one, enjoyed this special guest. Get used to his face, and I'm sure you guys will see him again. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to leave any comments down below, and I will get back to you. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know the next time I put out a video. Until next time, guys.
See ya.
Bye.